Alright guys, this is a good news. Welcome back to Prospect Channels TV. That President Bola Ahmed Tinubu have decided to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I will drop this video so you can watch and hear and see it yourself. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu made a very shocking move today as he sacked all his defense legal team and stood, by himself. Let's watch this video, make you see what they happen.
I'm trying my best to ensure Nnamdi Kanu is released. As I promised before I was elected, nothing will change my intention regarding his freedom. The process is ongoing and his release is near. I ask for patience and understanding as we bring this matter to a peaceful conclusion for the unity of our nation.
A wave of joy and celebration has swept across Igbo land and several parts of Nigeria following the long-awaited release of Nnamdi Kanu, the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. The decision, signed and approved by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, comes after months of mounting pressure, persistent calls for dialogue, and renewed appeals from both local and international stakeholders for a political solution to the lingering issue. For years, Kanu's detention had been a polarizing subject that stirred deep emotions and unrest in the southeast region. His release now signals what many believe could mark the beginning of genuine reconciliation, peace-building, and national unity in Nigeria. Meanwhile, Ibrahim Traore and Donald Trump have demanded the immediate release of Nnamdi Kanu. Watch the videos.
Brothers and sisters, how long shall Africa watch in silence while one of her own sons is dragged through humiliation? How long shall a people stand by while their brother is betrayed, mocked, and left to rot in detention? How long shall we pretend not to see that injustice has become a daily bread served on the table of power? I cannot keep quiet. I will not hold my tongue while Nnamdi Kanu, a son of Nigeria, a son of Igbo land, a son of Africa, languishes in chains. His crime? That he dared to speak, that he dared to raise questions that others were too afraid to ask, that he dared to stand when others chose to kneel. For this, he has been hunted, arrested in secrecy, dragged across borders like a common criminal, and thrown into the abyss of endless court delays. Tell me, is this justice or is this persecution? We all know the truth, yet too many of us pretend not to. Nnamdi Kanu was not captured with a weapon in his hands. He was not a warlord, he was not a murderer, he was not a thief of public treasury. He was a man who chose the path of words, who picked up the microphone instead of the machete, who built his struggle on speeches, not on bullets. Yet see how he was treated. See how he was hunted, see how he was dragged like prey in the night. Even the manner of his arrest was clothed in secrecy, shrouded in questions that no authority has answered with honesty. If justice was the motive, why the shadows? If fairness was the goal, why the silence? Brothers and sisters, how long shall Africa watch in silence while one of her own sons is dragged through humiliation? How long shall a people stand by while their brother is betrayed, mocked, and left to rot in detention? How long shall we pretend not to see that injustice has become a daily bread served on the table of power? I cannot keep quiet. I will not hold my tongue while Nnamdi Kanu, a son of Nigeria, a son of Igbo land, a son of Africa, languishes in chains. His crime? That he dared to speak, that he dared to raise questions that others were too afraid to ask, that he dared to stand when others chose to kneel. For this, he has been hunted, arrested in secrecy, dragged across borders like a common criminal, and thrown into the abyss of endless court delays. Tell me, is this justice or is this persecution? I say this not to condemn the Igbo masses, no. The mothers in Aba who cry for their son, the traders in Onitsha who whisper prayers for his release, the students in Suka who carry his name in their hearts, they have not betrayed him. Their loyalty remains unbroken. But among the high tables of power, among the men and women who wear fine suits and speak polished English, betrayal has left its scar. And that scar will not heal until they remember that silence in the face of injustice is itself injustice. To the Nigerian government, hear me clearly. You have detained this man for years. You have dragged his case from one courtroom to another. You have turned justice into a performance where the ending is forever postponed. Every day that passes without a fair and speedy trial is not just a delay, it is a denial. Every postponement is a message to millions of Nigerians that their lives, their rights, their dignity can be toyed with. Is this the message you wish to send? That Nigeria is a land where justice is selective, where process bends to politics, where mercy has no seat at the table. Nigeria calls itself the giant of Africa. But what makes a giant truly great? Is it the size of its army? Is it the height of its buildings? Is it the oil that flows beneath its soil? No. A giant is great when it treats its smallest citizen with dignity. A giant is respected when justice does not depend on who you are or where you come from. A giant is feared not because of its weapons, but because of its integrity. This is the greatness that Nigeria risks losing if Nnamdi Kanu continues to languish without justice. History has taught us this lesson before. When Nelson Mandela was thrown into prison, did it silence the call for freedom? No, it magnified it. When Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown and exiled, did it end the dream of independence? No, it spread it wider. When Patrice Lumumba was struck down, did it kill the vision of a free Congo? No, it planted it deep in the hearts of his people. So too, the imprisonment of Nnamdi Kanu has not erased the grievances of his people. It has not ended the questions of marginalization. It has not silenced the cry for dignity. If anything, it has deepened them. Nigeria must ask itself a hard question. How long can a nation claim unity while one part of its body bleeds without care? Unity is not a slogan. Unity is not painted on flags. Unity is lived in the daily experience of justice, of fairness, of belonging. And I tell you now, without justice for Nnamdi Kanu, without fairness for the Igbo nation, Nigeria's unity remains fragile, a shell waiting to crack. And I turn now to the Igbo people themselves. You are a people of strength, of resilience, of brilliance. Your hands have built cities, your minds have created wealth, your spirit has endured wars and hardship. You are too great to be divided. You are too wise to be fooled by the illusion that betrayal brings safety. If you betray one another, if you abandon your son today because his struggle is inconvenient, tomorrow it may be you who stands alone when the storm comes. Stand with him not because you must worship him, not because you must agree with every word he has spoken, but because justice demands it. Because history will ask you, when your brother was taken, did you stand or did you hide? To Africa and the world I say this, do not call this only an internal Nigerian affair. It is an African question. It is a human question. When one man is detained unjustly, it touches us all. When one people cry against marginalization and we close our ears, we betray not only them but ourselves. We cannot speak of Pan-Africanism in the morning and ignore African suffering in the night. We cannot condemn the injustice of colonialism while turning away from the injustices we commit against our own brothers. If Africa must rise, it must rise with integrity. If Africa must be respected, it must first respect itself, and that begins with how we treat dissent, how we treat minorities, how we treat the voices that challenge us. I did not come here to light a fire of hate. I came here to pour oil on the lamp of truth so that it may shine brighter. I came here not to break Nigeria apart, but to beg Nigeria to heal itself. Release Nnamdi Kanu. Show the world that you are strong enough to show mercy, that you are wise enough to choose justice, that you are united enough to rise above vengeance. To the Igbo elite, I beg you, do not sell your brother for coins of political favor. To the people I say, do not let despair harden your hearts. Keep the faith, keep the flame alive. History is watching, the world is listening, Africa is waiting. Let this chapter not be written in shame, but in honor. Let the story of Nnamdi Kanu not end as another tale of endless persecution, but as a turning point where Nigeria chose compassion over cruelty, justice over delay, unity over betrayal. The choice lies in your hands. The time is now, and may God guide us all toward courage, mercy, and justice.
Ladies and gentlemen, all across the world today, people are watching. They are watching very closely what is happening in Nigeria, a country that should be a beacon of hope, a country filled with amazing, hardworking people, a country with enormous potential. And yet, Nigeria is facing a crisis of leadership, a crisis of justice, and a crisis of human rights. And I am here today to speak out very strongly, very clearly, because silence in the face of injustice is not acceptable. We must tell the truth. We must say it as an island. I am calling very strongly for the immediate release of Nnamdi Kanu. He has been unjustly detained, persecuted, and silenced simply because he stood up for his people. He raised his voice for the Igbo people, and for that, he has been punished. That is not democracy. That is not freedom. That is persecution. The Igbo people are some of the most talented, resilient, and innovative people in Africa. They have built businesses, they have contributed to the economy, they have survived a terrible civil war, and yet, decades later, they are still treated as second-class citizens in their own country. This is wrong, totally wrong. And let me say this, when a government fears the voice of its own citizens, that government has lost its way. When a government locks up leaders instead of listening to them, it is not leading with strength, it is leading with fear. Nigeria must do better. The world is watching. But it is not only about Nnamdi Kanu and the Igbo people. we must also speak about the persecution of Christians in Nigeria. Too many times, churches have been attacked, burned to the ground. Too many families have lost loved ones. Too many innocent men, women, and children have been slaughtered simply for their faith. It is one of the great human rights tragedies of our time, and it is happening right now. Every man and woman should have the right to worship freely, to gather in peace, and to live without fear of being attacked. Religious freedom is not negotiable. It is a God-given right. And when Christians are being murdered and their voices are being ignored, that is not only a Nigerian problem, that is a global problem. To the leaders of Nigeria, I say this: the world is watching you. History is watching you. Release Nnamdi Kanu. Stop the persecution of the Igbo people. Protect Christians across your land. Show the world that you are ready for peace, for justice, for fairness, because a nation that persecutes its own people cannot stand strong. To the international community, I say, do not remain silent. Do not turn your back. Silence only empowers the oppressor. We must speak for those who cannot speak. We must stand for those who are silenced. The people of Nigeria deserve the same freedoms, the same justice, and the same dignity as every other people on earth. I say to the Nigerian youth, you are the future. You are strong, you are smart, and you are the hope of your nation. Do not lose hope. Do not be afraid to stand for justice, because the world is beginning to hear your voices. And I say to the Igbo people, your struggle is seen. Your pain is recognized. Your contributions to Nigeria, to Africa, and to the world will never be erased. You are not forgotten, and you will never be forgotten. Let this be a turning point. Let this be the time when justice prevails. Let this be the moment when the government listens to the cries of its people. The immediate release of Nnamdi Kanu is the first step toward healing, toward peace, toward unity. Nigeria is too great a country to be torn apart by division, injustice, and persecution. It is time to choose freedom over fear, justice over oppression, and unity over division. So once again, I am calling, as strongly as possible, release Nnamdi Kanu now. Protect the Igbo people. Protect the Christians. Restore freedom. Restore justice. Restore hope. God bless the people of Nigeria. God bless the oppressed. And God bless the freedom-loving people all over the world. Thank you very much.
My brothers and sisters, we gather here speaking of African unity, yet one of our own sits in chains. Nnamdi Kanu was abducted, renditioned, and silenced, not because he stole, not because he killed, but because he demanded what we all claim to want: true independence. Do not tell me this is Nigeria's internal affair. When one African is chained, all Africans are chained. When one voice is silenced, all our voices are at risk. We wear fine suits, we sign trade deals that enrich our colonizers, while those who fight for real freedom are punished. Is this justice? Is this sovereignty? No, it is betrayal. We all know the truth, yet too many of us pretend not to. Nnamdi Kanu was not captured with a weapon in his hands. He was not a warlord, he was not a murderer, he was not a thief of public treasury. He was a man who chose the path of words, who picked up the microphone instead of the machete, who built his struggle on speeches, not on bullets. Yet see how he was treated, see how he was hunted, see how he was dragged like prey in the night. Even the manner of his arrest was clothed in secrecy, shrouded in questions that no authority has answered with honesty. If justice was the motive, why the shadows? If fairness was the goal, why the silence? This is a direct message to Igbo governors. Yes, I am speaking to you. Where were you when your brother Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, chained, and thrown into prison? Where were you when he cried out for justice, not just for himself but for your people? You chose silence. You chose comfort. You chose to bow before power while your own son was humiliated before the world. You betray not just Kanu, you betray the land that birthed you. You betray the youth who once believed you would protect them. You betray the mothers who pray in tears every night. And you betray the very idea of leadership itself. Nnamdi Kanu did not steal from your people. He did not kill your people. He gave his voice, his freedom, his blood for them. And instead of standing with him, you stand with those who oppress him. Tell me, is this not betrayal? Governors of Igbo land, let me remind you, silence is not leadership. Silence is complicity. And complicity is betrayal. History will not remember your mansions, your convoys, your contracts. History will remember this moment that when your brother sat in chains, you turned your back. When your land cried for justice, you chose to protect your seats instead. Stand for your people, stand for your brother, or accept the truth that you are leaders in name but traitors in action. The youth are watching, Africa is watching, and history never forgets. Brothers and sisters, how long shall Africa watch in silence while one of her own sons is dragged through humiliation? How long shall a people stand by while their brother is betrayed, mocked, and left to rot in detention? How long shall we pretend not to see that injustice has become a daily bread served on the table of power? I cannot keep quiet. I will not hold my tongue while Nnamdi Kanu, a son of Nigeria, a son of Igboland, a son of Africa, languishes in chains. His crime? That he dared to speak, that he dared to raise questions that others were too afraid to ask, that he dared to stand when others chose to kneel. For this, he has been hunted, arrested in secrecy, dragged across borders like a common criminal, and thrown into the abyss of endless court delays. Tell me, is this justice, or is this persecution?